It's 6-5 in this third set of the doubles match. We won the first set, lost the second, and now we're in a dead heat for the third. We have to win this point so we can win the set. But of course, if we lose, I can just shut off the TV, throw the remote on the couch, and come back tomorrow and play the game again. Because this is Wii tennis, virtual reality, unlike life. In 1981, I was married with a 2-year-old daughter when my second daughter was born with 2 chronic liver diseases. We found ourselves 2 hours away from home at Boston Children's Hospital, facing the critical decisions about her life and death. She survived surgery at the age of 9 weeks, and we stumbled into our lives, warned of the perils of raising a chronically ill child. It felt like our family was hit by a Mack truck, and I sure wish there was a do-over button. This became our lives, the first days of school, followed by trips to Boston Children's Hospital, Bert and Ernie birthday cakes, a visiting nurse with IV home therapy one day, blood work the next. A child psychologist even helped us get out our anger by setting up Nerf gun shootouts. It actually helped. But my husband and I divorced in 1989 because it was all too much. I was 36 years old. I didn't know what I wanted or where I was going. I knew how to be a parent and a caregiver. I was ridden with guilt for birthing a sick child, so I went on a quest to find a cure for my daughter's diseases, very much like the movie Lorenzo's Oil. But there was no cure, a fact I eventually had to painfully accept, but I didn't have to accept giving up. One day I found a book entitled Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. The title rang out to me. I've had panic attacks, agoraphobia, and lost all confidence in myself as a person. I was afraid to make decisions. I was afraid I was a terrible parent. I was afraid I caused my daughter's illness. I read it cover to cover. It was a revelation. This book empowered me to look at life differently. I stood up to doctors in ways I never thought possible. When a doctor wanted to do just another X-ray for research, I pushed him out the door. When a local night shift doctor wanted to give my daughter Motrin instead of an ambulance ride to the hospital that I was insisting on, I stood face to face with him until he relented. I started looking for other tools. I learned how to live in the now. I saw how easily I was triggered, like by a crying baby. I taught myself to stay in the present. I also learned about chronic sorrow. Chronic sorrow filled a major puzzle piece for me of why each new diagnosis would start with another cycle of sorrow, anger, until finally acceptance again. I published my book entitled Tools for the Exceptional Parent of a Chronically Ill Child. The doctors had said my daughter wouldn't live past the age of 2, but she did. She struggled into adulthood, got a full-time job, and lived on her own. In January of 2014, her gastroenterologist at Mass General Hospital told us that she needed a transplant at this time, but Mass General couldn't get the organ fast enough. So in July, we moved to the Indiana Transplant Center. The doctors tried to get her well enough for the transplant, but unfortunately, she ran out of time and made her transition in September of 2014. She had a 32-year battle with liver disease, and my role as caregiver was over. Caregiving for a chronically ill child is an enormous responsibility. I was an advocate, a nurse, a problem solver. I parented both my well and sick children. It was my honor to do this loving work, but where was the me in all this? The challenge of any caregiver is to find a balance. A caregiver needs to remember their own self-care and their own emotions while helping their loved one. With environmental illnesses on the rise and the aging baby boomers, caregiving is at the forefront of every family. This issue impacts not just the patient, it impacts the whole family. Caregivers are the experts in tending to their loved ones, no doubt about it. And we often put ourselves last in our daily activities. I hope sharing my story with you helps caregivers remember your self-care and your emotions are part of the whole caregiving process. Thank you.